Hey guys, J77 here doing a very important news article that is from my home state of New York. This is something that I have been following a while back. I have mentioned this, and now with some changes in the bill, uh, Albany, if this is true, will have the very first law to combat cyberbullying. The law in this article says that state lawmakers are expected to pass a New York City's first law addressing the growing problem of cyberbullying. After weeks of intense negotiations, Governor Cuomo submitted late Friday night that an anti-cyberbullying bill that lawmakers are scheduled to take up before the ending of the legislation's session on Thursday. The bill requires schools to develop proper protocol to deal with complaints of email, texting, and online harassment, and designate an official to handle the investigation. Districts will also have developed a preemptive measure to prevent reoccurring and create an age-appropriate curriculum for students from kindergarten to 12th grade on safe, responsible use of the internet and electronic communications, as well as citizenship and character education. Sorry. However, this is something that's also very important is that you need to be aware of this bill of. The bill does not make cyberbullying a significant crime, despite recent surveys showing 70% of students think it should be. The state Senate Independent Democratic Caucus surveys of 10,000 students statewide shows that nearly 7% have been cyberbullied or know someone who has, with girls twice as likely to report being victims. Cyberbullying is a new and especially intense way of bullying. Cuomo wrote in a memo of support of the legislation. It allows bullies to do their work in a designated work at a distance outside of school, in front of a broad audience, and sometimes under the protection of the anonymity. Now, the anonymity is the anonymous thing where you don't have to put your name and address or anything else. You just put some fake name and or have a fake account on any site, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or whatever social network or video network you have. This has been a major talking issue because a while back they were talking about you must reveal your name, address, and phone number if you want to post some things online, whether it be by video or even social networking. If you didn't do that, the original bill, they could actually take you to court to reveal who you really are. This was a very broad bill that pretty much could censor anybody's opinion, even though it's not bullying or trolling. And a lot of people have voiced it that this would not be passed. Apparently, they have actually changed that. They're no longer focusing on trying to eliminate anonymous comments, but they are looking to cut down on people using the internet for the sole purpose of bullying, and which is that's where Cuomo is getting to right now. This also has been linked. This is very important to a girl, a 15-year-old Staten Island girl, whose family says she jumped in front of the bus as a result of bullying on Facebook. Every student needs to feel safe in order to maximize his and her academic and social protocols, from a wrote. Cyberbullying legislation is part of a flurry expecting to in coming days before the legislation session ends, including the bill to restrict the public release of teachers' evaluation and others, to create a new agency to crack down on abuse of developmental databases. This is the Daily News. I'm going to leave the link to this. I can now talk about it because, like I said before, this is something that they've been stirring for weeks, and looks like they finally came to a compromise. The one thing it definitely does, it does not say you have to reveal your real name, your address, and phone number. That has pretty much been scrapped. But now they're giving the schools as well as other education administration to basically make protocols to make sure this is being dealt with, especially if it's happening in their schools, that cyberbullying is happening online in their schools. Nevertheless, it does not come with a lot of questions, and that is because one, it doesn't make it a crime. That's one major important thing. Out of all the stuff I just talked about, it's still not a crime in New York to be an idiot and basically harass people online. And largely because this is only in New York. We have not seen other states following suit, at least not yet. 'Cause like I said, when one state does something, other ones tend to follow with similar laws of their own. So it's just a matter of time if a state decides to make it their policies as well. But two, the other problem I have with this is that, is it just the schools only, or is it this broad? Can the school pursue legal actions even if the person is not in their school, or even if they're at home? See, this is the kind of stuff that I really hope when they do finally talk about it and do pass, they actually bring up, because this law, it says on paper they're combating it, but unless they can give me a clear picture of how they're doing it, instead of just collecting data and giving it to the proper authorities, there's very little they can do about it, other than the fact that unless they can prove that that person caused serious harm to their victims. And that's the thing that this law needs to be careful in addressing, because like I said, there's a lot of cases where people have voiced their opinion saying that what they said has nothing to do with that person committing suicide or whatnot. I disagree a little bit, because if you constantly pushing them to the edge, stuff like that does tend to occur. But many people have already voiced mixed reaction to this. But again, this is something that I'm kind of surprised. New York wanted something to fight cyberbullying. This is the first step. It's not as over the top as the last bill, but slowly but surely, you guys, you're starting to see them starting to crack down on a lot of stuff that's been happening online, especially when it results to people basically committing suicide over what they said and how they say it, and how they go about bullying. Again, this is just the first stage. I don't know what other laws will come up this, and believe me, there may be other laws that will come up this, but to me, it's nice to see they finally addressing this, but at the same time, I cannot help but wondering how ineffective this bill may actually come, because like I said, they can make protocols, they can make the education, but other than that, to say they're going after the individual themselves, it's all the question of what the bill can and cannot allow them to do, and whether or not criminal charges can be actually put against them. Because like I said, this bill does not make it a crime, and that's the one thing that's gonna stick if they ever try to put somebody in court for harassment or for cyberbullying. All they gotta say is the bill didn't require them to the bill doesn't make them a criminal, and it's not a felony to become an idiot. So I'm a little mixed with this one, guys, but I'm gonna leave it for you guys to talk about. I'm gonna leave a link below and you guys can talk about it yourselves. I'd like to hear your comments on this, and before anybody make a comment, I really do encourage you guys to read this. You guys may actually catch something that I did not. I'm going to go over this over again. I'm going to still follow it, and if it does pass and they added something new to the mix, I will report it. But for now, this is all I got to say about that. So leave a link below. You guys can comment. Until then, this is J77 saying take care and be safe.